So my dude's got the 103. Should he trade it for Tyreek Hill? I will tell you a story. Once upon a time, one of us, I won't say who, could have traded T-Law and a 25 first for Justin Fields. They didn't do it because they said, "Meh, I don't want to do that. I think I can get by this week with Trevor Lawrence." That team lost by 1.07 and would have won quite easily if they would have made that deal. So what will you regret more is what I will say. Will you regret not having that 103 and winning a championship, or will you regret not winning a championship and having a 103 next year? Me, it's title hunting season. Generally, I'm aggressive anyway, so I would say take the Tyreek deal.
So is this a super flex? Somebody starters? I mean, that does matter. It's a 103. It isn't a random 25 first. If we know the format, if it's a non-super flex, then it's not even a debate. If it's a super flex, then you're probably into the range of picks you'd rather try to get Tyreek Hill in another way besides actually make this deal. Do we have a receiver and a 25 first we can give instead? Does it have to be the 103? Can it be something different? Comment, Mott Dups, if there's anything you think that could be an alternative to getting him. Is it the 103 and that's it? Literally no other options? You know, here's the thing. There were a couple deals I made last week where I took the risk. Guess what, Shane? I still lost. There's some deals where I didn't make the trades and I plugged in who I had. I don't know, had to play Gus Edwards instead of trading for another running back. Oh, that was a good idea, you know? There's one. Had to throw in a Ty Chandler. Another good idea. Not bad. So I think there's places where you go, man, I'm glad I didn't make the deal because it forced in a player. I don't know. One league, I had to start George Pickens. Could have traded for a receiver before the game. Instead, I was working on a Jamar Chase deal where I give up Jamar Chase, get back 2 receivers. Didn't get it done. Had to play George Pickens, Shane. Won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It works both ways. It's not like, man, I'm going to regret. It's easy to look at the regrets and go, I should have made the deal. But it's also easy to look at the deals you didn't make and go, man, it means I had a guy in the lineup that I would have never played. And holy shit, that player scored 25 plus points. So
those are the ones that stick with you. It's easier to remember what didn't work for you sometimes, I guess. I'm going to get that super chat off. Or no, it's not even a super chat. But we do have someone's birthday. Randy Lean.
Hopefully he doesn't put a lean on us if we don't get his question right. Got that joke. Anyway, Randy's birthday. Happy birthday, Randy. What do we got? 10 teams start 10, 2 QB, 26-man rosters, T-Law, Watson, Cans. Oh, man, look at those receivers, Shane. Jefferson, Lamb, Wilson, Olave, Ayuk. 101, 2, 3, 6, 10. Kyle Pitts. What should he do?
Let's see. He does mention it is it's 2 QB.
Need a third QB, definitely in the 2 QB. We're weak there.
I got to be honest with you. After what T-Law did this year and what Watson did this year, I need a QB1, period. Like if those
we need at least another guy as good or better than those guys. At least.
Yeah. That's the area I'm attacking. But you have the 101 and the 102, and it's a 2 QB. So there's absolutely nothing to stop me from going, all right, we're going Caleb Williams, we're going Drake May. We're not going Drake May. We're going Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Marvin Harrison Jr. with those picks right there, unless I can trade them out for something that is a known quantity, like Jalen Hurts, who's not good at football anymore, apparently, according to the community. Something like that.
So it's a 10 team, but it is a 2 QB. So you remove the scarcity of it being a 10 team, but then you add it back because it's 2 QB, right?
Yeah.
So I guess my tiebreaker, Randy, would be, what is the QB market in your league? Like, how easy would it be for you to go buy another Trevor Lawrence or another Deshaun Watson? Just not even saying I want to get another guy in that range, but how easy would it be? Could you go buy one of those guys with the 106? Could you buy Justin Fields with the 106? You know, could you buy somebody in that range for the 106? Could you buy Dak Prescott for the 106? If you could, I'm fine doing that and kind of playing the leverage with the picks. If not, if the QB market is extremely difficult to navigate, meaning you go try to buy Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, and they go, I need the 101 and the 103. Something like that. Now I'm going, okay, I'd rather make the picks, right? Because I have control of the board. I'm going to be able to take whoever I want. I may even be able to take who I want at the 101 Because, I mean, look, you got Jefferson, Lamb, Wilson, Olave, Ayuk. You got 5 top 15 receivers right there. And then you add to that Marvin Harrison, who you're basically locked to get. I mean, your receivers are set in a 10-team start 10. Tight end doesn't matter. I'm fine rolling with Pitts. So, yeah, I think you got a lot of flexibility. I got to know the QB market, though. If it's easy to go get another top 10 QB, I don't need a stud QB. I'm willing to kind of play the value on those picks. You have the control of the board here because you have all those picks. Slow play it. See what you can get done. Let's see what else.
Doing a good job of hiding these chats. Someone says Happy Boxing Day to any of our Canadian friends. Happy Boxing Day, which I don't think is a real holiday. Canadians make up a bunch of fake holidays, but good for them. Johnny Detroit says Dynasty Resolution 2024. Stop undervaluing running backs. Saquon, Gibbs, and Brees are gold. So I saw that comment a little earlier. So I just looked at the top 12 for the year. Just wanted to look at that, see what it looks like for the year, right? We've got Kyron Williams, Raheem Mostert, Devon Chain, Rashad White, and David Montgomery, all as top 11 running backs. Is that something you could have foreseen last year?
No, but I think it's easy to look back and go, running backs are undervalued. I don't think that it's never been a debate that running backs are valued correctly once you see the results. I mean, the war, you look at the war in any league, most leagues, you're going to see the running back war in certain ranges. It's very advantageous. The problem is you just don't know who's going to fit into that range. So generally, we're going to be a lot more conservative when a player has market value versus they have no market value. That's the difference. It's when somebody like Saquon is trading for a first plus and another guy that you don't really know of yet is free. It's not that Saquon's not better than that player or more likely to finish in the top 12, the top 6, the top 3. It's that the gap in the cost to get them is much cheaper to get 10 of the free guys than it is make a big bet on one Saquon, especially in the offseason. I think that's the scary thing, Mr. Johnny Detroit. Congrats to your Lions for winning the division. It's in January. I don't want to bet on Saquon Barkley. I acknowledge Saquon Barkley is probably better than 90% of the running backs in the NFL. Easily, right? He's top 5 running back in the league when he's healthy. So it's not that I don't want to bet on him. It's I don't want to bet on him at the price that he will go to because of his name versus all the other options that could be out there. I can build a running back room way cheaper by not taking the gamble on somebody like Saquon. It's the same thing we talk about with quarterbacks. There's no reason to bet on the guy that just has a job by default when I can get a bunch of backup quarterbacks that literally are the same thing. I just don't know when their starts are going to come. So I think it really, for me, I need to go through for the next 2 weeks and go through all my rosters and really make some bets on who I believe truly are guys I'm willing to roster construct around at running back. And Saquon is one of them. But that doesn't mean I'm going to not fade running backs. If I'm ever in a situation where I have too much running back equity, I'm okay moving it. Period. That's it. I don't care if it's Brees. I don't care if it's Bijan. I don't care if it's Gibbs, A-Chain, Saquon, McCaffrey, Rashad White, ETN. Doesn't matter. Insert the name. If I have too much, if I have 3 of those dudes, there's no reason to bet on all 3 of them when all 3 of them are one of the few that have trade value.
I told you, if you want to exclude Gibbs from the running back hatred, I'm good with that. If you want to exclude Devon Chain, I'll even give you him, even though he hasn't performed very well the last 2 weeks. But, dude, if you were counting on Brees Hall, and I was a Brees Hall fanatic, that dude did not help you this year. I mean, there was 2 games like this. There was this week and earlier in the year when they let the reins off as Robert Saleh said or whatever. So it just looking at it, like just this week, James Conner was the RB4, Derrick Henry the RB5, Ezekiel Elliott was the RB6, Rashad White RB7, Chris Rodriguez was the RB8. Just speaks to the point, like these aren't the names that you would even, you know what I mean? If you would have invested bigly in the beginning of the year on running backs, it wouldn't have been these dudes. Saquon had a really good week, but he was coming off like a 8-point week the week prior, like 16 rushing yards on like 9 attempts or something. So,
well, and here's just a real quick example. So let's say I'm in a 12-team start 10, 25-man rosters, just PPR league, right? Really basic. If I have Jahmyr Gibbs, let's just say I have Jahmyr Gibbs. I was lucky enough. I fell into him. I've used him all year. He's helped me. I have Jahmyr Gibbs. 12-team start 10, 25-man roster, super flex. Here's what you do. you build around Jahmyr Gibbs. You don't fade Jahmyr Gibbs. He's the anchor, though. You get rid of every other running back you have. You have that same team, has Rachaad White, get rid of him. Take 2 seconds. The point is roster construct around the ones that you want. If you already have Gibbs, you're betting on Jahmyr Gibbs being as amazing as you are telling me that he is. So don't hold a bunch of other value at running back. You've already made your bed with Jahmyr Gibbs. You ride with it until you don't want to anymore.
Exactly.
That's the point. The point is, if I have Breece, Gibbs, and McCaffrey on one team, I probably won. I don't want all three. There's got to be a market for one of those three.
There's definitely
exactly.
is. There's a Johnny Detroit in my league that'll go, and I'm not slighting Johnny. Johnny's a great listener, and yeah, congratulations to Detroit. Hopefully they end up as the 3 seed. Anyway, but just I forget what I was going to say. All right.
It's just I think your summary was the ones I just named are the ones you probably can trade.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to lean into the ones that you can trade, because those are the ones somebody else wants. You go to somebody, you go, Shane, do you want Najee Harris? Nah, I'm good. So you know what Najee Harris is better as? A body on my roster.
Yep.
You know? So there you go.
Here we go. In case you haven't heard, Nick Costantanino just dropping in to say good luck to Scott in the FFPC. If you haven't heard, Scott Connor is in second place right now in the main event.
Second place in the main event. Now, got to give a shout out to Nick, back-to-back champion. So the most famous guy on the screen right now is Nick Constantino. So it's cool coming from him that he comes in and wishes me good luck. His team has won back-to-back, which is, to put that in perspective, to win back-to-back FFPC main events, $1 million both years. So Nick's won $1 million back-to-back years. I mean, we're talking players that are playing 150 teams, thousands and thousands of teams, tens of thousands of teams, and won back-to-back overall championships. So I'm in second, but, you know, that's still a long way from the million. It'd be awesome if I won the million. I'm 4 points out of first, but dude, we still got a whole nother week left. I mean, I could finish in 28th place and it could be like, okay, that it was fun for, you know, a week. So, you know, we'll see.
And I don't know Nick. I don't play in the FFPC tournaments, but that is impressive as hell. I don't know.
Dude.
Is he placed this year?
I don't know how many teams he did. I mean, if he wants to put in the comments, but
okay. But what I was going to say, just more to my specific point of bringing this up after that was, I don't know anyone else more than you that would deserve it, to be quite honest with you. There's no one that grinds harder. There's no one that grinds smarter. There's no one that makes their co-host better when they host with them. There's no one that puts the work in like you, dude. Oh, Nick, we met at the expo. Hi, Nick. Nick, I was
you would recognize Nick if you saw him.
Okay.
But you know, we saw so many people at the expo, you would recognize him. But no, it's I just one more time, a shout out to him. The difficulty of winning that two times in a row. And I won't even get into the ratios of how many teams they played versus there are people out there legitimately max entering this tournament. It's $2,000 a team. They're playing 150 teams and they're not even finishing in the top 50, not one team. So to go out there and win it back-to-back years, I mean, we're talking 1 in a couple million odds. I don't even know what the odds are. Someone smarter than me can figure it out. But it's very long to win 2 in a row. Just say that. So
they're super high. I would say if anyone does ever see Nick put out any advice, take it.
And honestly, you shouldn't put out the advice if you won. Let the people. There's a lot of people out there selling advice, and I'm going, you know, where are their teams? Just shows you the variance in fantasy football, man. Just because you don't win, you can still have good process. So,
and here,
appreciate the shout out, bro.
His teams are dead sadly this year, and he's hoping the torch gets passed to you. And again, I agree completely. Nobody I'd want more to win than my dude Scott. Love him. All right,
appreciate
that was all
mushy.
Let's go away now. Mod ups, mosh pits. He was up here earlier. He has sorry. Yeah, you can tell I'm missing Clay. This is definitely
Clay normally has questions up there for us, and now I'm going, okay, what's the I could throw this one up there real quick. Sonic Fan TV, should I cut Jeremy Ruckert? if tight ends matter in your league, I'm okay not cutting them, but generally tight ends don't matter in like 99% of leagues that we see. So yes, you should cut them if tight ends don't matter. So you know the analysis, 2 PPR, go through the roster construction. It's got to be real specific if it's not a 2 PPR or anything. 2 tight end or 2 PPR. Anything below that, if he's not one of your 2, then yep, cut him.
Yeah, if you can find another one to bring up, go ahead. I'm just looking for. Here's Mod Up's. Okay, so Mod Up's original question was, you've got the 103. Should you trade it for Tyreek? And he spells it with an E at the end, which would be the basketball player. You don't want to trade for Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek Evans, Memphis fame, right?
Do not want to trade for Tyreek Evans in a football league. But if this is Tyreek Hill, now let's get to the rest of his team, because he did actually put that in there. Appreciate you, Mott. Mott did up. Yeah, this is harder than it looks, folks. I promise you. Okay, Mott did ups. Here we go. It's a 12-team super flex, tight end premium. Start 9. He does have Garrett Wilson, JJ, Puka, Laporta, Pickens, and Deontay. At quarterback, he notes that he's been he also has Jaden Reed, and his quarterbacks are Purdy, Cousins, Darnold, and Lance. And I thought I saw one more question from him, but I could be wrong.
Well, it's a start 9, so that I think magnifies the risk reward a little bit, right? Start 9 makes it a little harder for that 103 to be. I mean, we know the 103 is going to be an impact pick. It just is. So if that's your best option, it's a heads or tails. You know what I mean? You know you're trading away something of value. This isn't the 106 where you go, well, that could be a tier break, and I'm okay moving the pick. It's 103. You know it's going to be valuable, but he's in the finals, and I'm not super confident at looking at his roster. You're almost having to play both Deontay and George Pickens, which I'm terrified of betting on them in the finals with Mason Rudolph again. That's not one that I want to bet on. So I think he could use another hammer, right? He had Puka, Justin Jefferson. His quarterbacks are, I mean, I'm very fearful of starting Brock Purdy in the finals, but, you know, that's probably what he's going to have to do.
Shout out to Mott Dubs. Made it a super chat. Like, I gotta be honest with you, it's the 103 for Tyreek Hill in a situation where, do we think Pickens is likely to go out there and score 45 points a game again? 45 points in a game again? Do we think he's likely to score 20?
I was sitting driving home earlier. I had to run some errands after I drove 10 hours today, so I'm pretty tired. But I was driving home after running some errands, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, George Pickens is going to score like 4 points this week.
Right.
I mean, it just feels like that, doesn't it?
That's what he is.
And you know, what's funny is my main event team, guess who it has? I'm sure you can pick the guy that just absolutely killed everybody in week 16.
Cooper?
Receiver, Amari Cooper. It has Amari Cooper. And I'm sitting here going, man, Amari Cooper against the Jets on a short week. Doesn't that feel like that's a 1 for 20 in an injury type week? I mean,
I'll say this though, right? Cooper is a target hog, and I understand the Jets defense is it's a whole other, but they're showing some leakage there. They're showing some, can we get the season over with? We just don't give a shit anymore. Like that's what they showed me last week.
We're not the same defense we were 4 weeks ago because we're ready to move on with the year. Yes.
Yeah. If given the choice, I'm obviously going Cooper all day over Pickens at any day of the week. Neither of them is going to do what they did last week, but Amari Cooper's more likely to give you a wide receiver 1 week than George Pickens is in my estimation. So yeah, we're going to say, dude, take that 103, send that for Tyreek Hill, pair him with Justin Jefferson. Hopefully Brock Purdy won't throw 13 interceptions this week, and you'll be in good shape.
Are you worried at all at Baltimore matchup without Jalen Waddle? Does it kind of feel like it could do anything to not let Tyreek Hill go off? Or
it could be, but I don't think there's certain players it does not matter. There's certain players I don't care what the matchup is.
So triple coverage, he's still going to make.
He'll still find a way. He's still too good, just too good, with or without Waddle. It's just there's no way to stop it. Real quick, I just want to get a couple people in here. Ty DeClaire says, "What's good, y'all?
What's up, bro?
Things are all good." Well, here's one. Brad White. Any chance we get some time spent on what current players you trade each rookie for? You trade each rookie pick like he has the 105, which could be Jaden Daniels or Malik Neighbors, but I would trade this pick for. I say we're a little early in that process, right? I mean, we kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the 101, where the list consisted of Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and I think there might have been one other player in the running, non-quarterback.
I'll just say this. If it's a top 5 pick, the list of who I would trade it for is extremely slim. We're probably talking less than 15 players, and that includes quarterbacks. There's just no rush. There's no rush to trade the 105, 104, 103, 102, 101 right now. Now, we may do, we'll probably do this because we need some stuff to talk about between now and March, but I'm sure we probably will do something similar to what we did last year with where we draft each pick. We do like a 101 video, 102, kind of build on what we did last week. And that's probably where we go through last week we took this guy. This week, this is a range of type of player we might be willing to trade this pick for. But put it this way. If I have one of those top 4 or 5 picks, the offer has to blow me away to where I go, even if I prefer the pick, I feel very comfortable taking what I'm taking. Okay. Right? It's got to be a slam dunk. And I think most people are not there yet on the rookie picks. So you may be looking at Malik Neighbors or Jaden Daniels and going, I know that's going to be a top 2 round startup pick right away. And the person is offering you Travis Etienne for the pick. They're offering you something where you're like DK Metcalf for the pick. No, that level of player, I'm good. You can hold them. I'll let the pick value accrue over the next couple months. So I think that's the thing. If it's the 108, sure, 106 and beyond, I'm fine trading it for a veteran. But if you're holding a top 5 pick or higher, no rush.
And again, you can tell this isn't Clay here because I'm going in no real order. But speaking of Clay, he won't be joining tonight, but he did want to say that he appreciates everyone, including his boys, Shane and Scott. That's us. I will say that too. I appreciate Clay. Clay's awesome. I appreciate everyone in our community, everybody in our Discord, everybody that watches the show, comments on it on YouTube, all that good stuff. Everybody that stops here on Tuesdays. Really do appreciate y'all.
Mm-hmm.
How do I have this comment? I can't.
You hit the button to hide. There you go. Oh, you can do it.
Steph Diggs, trade worth this offseason. Who should I target? So I have made one Steph Diggs trade when it was clear and obvious that I was going to lose in the semifinals in one game. And it was clear by Saturday night. I was down by like 130. I traded Steph Diggs for, or maybe it was Sunday night. I traded Steph Diggs for a 25 first, and I considered myself happy with that.
Man, what's up with Stefon Diggs? Because if you look at all his numbers, he is still like top 8 in the league in yards per route run. Same with targets per route run, top 5 in target share, but the fantasy points haven't followed. I actually need to look up his Trinity when it updates to see what that looks like. But like if you just ignored his fantasy production, he's fine. Now, one thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure some other pods, if anyone's listened to other pods this week, have covered this. The Bills have only thrown the ball 36 times in the last 2 games. Yeah. Steph Diggs still has a 39% target share over the last 2 weeks, but they just haven't thrown the ball nearly at the same rate. Like he's almost becoming like Garrett Wilson, Drake London-esque. Like he's getting all the targets. It's just the team. You're like, oh yeah, this is a bad passing team that doesn't want to pass. And we never thought the Bills like that. But the fact the Bills are smashing, they're like the hottest team in the NFL. And you don't need Stefon Diggs. So I don't know.
I got a feeling come draft season, you're going to be able to get some Steph Diggs for 107, 108, 109, maybe 9. And if you can do that, you do that. You definitely do that. I think this year is an anomaly. His track record is just too long of being too good that I can't imagine just whatever Joe Brady's doing there. Or it's really been the whole year. It hasn't just been what Joe Brady's been calling plays, but this is an anomaly. He's had too long of a track record, and he's not over the age cliff for a wide receiver. So it's not like we should even expect this to continue. So I'm willing to bet if I can get him 107, 108, anything in that range, I'm sending it for him.
He's kind of where like Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams were at the end of last year, to where you got probably one more year before the community is like, yeah, this guy's too old.
Yeah.
But like the floor is probably what you got from like DeAndre Hopkins. Like that's the floor. Like you're still okay with what you're going to get. It's just probably hard to separate the name versus some of these numbers, and then also like what somebody's going to want for him. So you're going to have to still pay for him. But yeah, I agree with you. I think you'll be able to buy him for, somewhere in the middle to late-ish first range in the offseason, especially if the Bills talk about, Bills are going to draft a receiver or Bills need to get a better receiver. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there's a chance that you can buy some. So yeah, I'm in.
I'm buying. Our dude Shimmy says, y'all wild for being on today. Thought this was going to be a quiet, dead week. Love it. Let's go. This has been a quiet, dead week. It's Tuesday, and I haven't really talked a lot of football. I feel like I've been away for months, not talking to Scott for 1 week. So, yeah, no, man, we can't take a full week off. I don't know what we would do with ourselves. I'm not going to lie to you.
This one up there, Masternator, new alarm clock's on. Longest 30 minutes of my life. Appreciate it, Masternator. That'll help Shane with the maybe the cost to get the vehicle out of the impound lot, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite part of all this is that I got to go pay them because my car got stolen and they had to tow it.
Yep. Dude, it's one of the more profitable businesses out there that's under the radar is owning a tow and impound lot. They charge ridiculous amounts per day to store your car there. And most of the time they're just contracted with different police departments. So it's, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. We all benefit from the crime except for the victim. The criminals benefit, the police benefit, the tow yards benefit. Shane loses. Welcome to America, right?
All right, let's get our boy Nate Roberge. And I know that's how he pronounces it, not how Clay usually pronounces it. Thank you for the super chat, sir. It's 10 by 9, one quarterback, no tight end premium. He's in the championship. Trying to max out points for this week. He has a hard time locking up or tearing up a wide receiver. No one is moving an elite wide receiver. Is there a less obvious move he can make? He's got 424 firsts. Looks like his wide receivers are Keenan. Oh, and then he immediately goes to running backs. Rashad, Brees, Gibbs, Zeke, Steven Singletary. At wide receiver, he's got Puka, Diggs, Nico, Hopkins, McLaurin, JSN, Kelsey. His firsts are projected to be the 103, 104, 106, and 110.
I mean, it's a 10-team start 9, right? You're starting Kelsey. Right, you're not going to probably get a better tight end. You can't trade him for anything of equivalent, so you're starting him. You're probably starting Diggs and Puka. Easy, no questions. And then who else does he have? He's starting
at wide receiver, which is where
he's got Gibbs, Brees Hall, and who was it? Rashad White.
Yeah, Rashad White. I mean, his running backs.
Josh Allen. I mean,
his running backs are stacked, and I understand the urge to upgrade at wide receiver. But if no one's going to trade with you, there's literally nothing you can do. Like, okay, back to Mo Deeps. He's given up the 103 for Tyreek Hill. And 247 videos noted, maybe that's not the move to make against the Jets defense in the championship. Who else? Low key, Cooper Kupp, because he didn't smash last week, because he dropped 13 touchdowns. He didn't score, and Puka went nuts. But I'd feel more confident in Cooper Kupp over McLaurin. Although if Jacoby Brissett plays and McLaurin plays, all of a sudden McLaurin's a better wide receiver.
I mean, if you're just looking for a player that here's the response I would give. I still want to make a dynasty trade here.
Right.
Meaning I don't want to trade I'm just trading for points this week, but I'm looking at what type of players this week do I think could have a bounce back that have a great matchup? And you're buying a dynasty asset too. So he's got the 106. This is a 1 QB, right?
Right. 1 QB.
Okay. Can I give the 106 can I give the 104? I would give the 104. Can I give the 104 for Brandon Ayuk against Washington? I'm guessing he probably is a guy you're starting over DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, Nico Collins.
Right.
But that's also a dynasty trade. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm buying, I think, a decent investment asset, and I'm probably upgrading my starting lineup. Can I give a late pick? Can I throw in one of those players and something else and get Mike Evans? I'll buy Mike Evans for 1 week. You know what I mean? Like that. That's the kind of move where I'm trying to get creative. You don't need an elite receiver. You're probably not in a 10-team start 9. Who are the elite receivers? CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown. If those three are unavailable, there's nobody else. You know what I mean?
You know the names that you want to buy. So I mean, right. It's going to be the dudes like the names Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper coming off of last week. Now you'd have to pay out the ass for him. So it's very it's a limited sea that you're swimming in. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to upgrade. How many how many running backs can you start? If you have to start, like if you only need to start 2 wide receivers, hell, I'll go look at another running back. For
he's
that
got
wouldn't be
he's got Brees Hall, Rashad White, and Jahmyr Gibbs. He's starting all 3 of those. So I'm just looking at guys I can buy as dynasty assets, and the 2 that stick out to me would be like Chris Olave or Brandon Ayuk. I can probably start them as top 12 options, and they're good dynasty buys at the same time. That's the type of deal I'm looking for. I don't care what you got to give. You got to give Terry McLaurin in one of those first, whatever. It's a 10-team start line, but that's the type of deal I'm looking for. You're not getting an elite receiver most likely. So
I do really like the Brandon Ayuk though. I say go get Brandon. Yep. All right, I'm gonna have to start hitting these a little quicker. I'm a little slow. All right, so we got Nate. You're done, my man.
Thinking out some of the quick ones out there. We got Ty gave us this $5 to cover the cost of one of your cup holders that probably got ruined. So,
appreciate you. What, they ruined the cup holders? God damn, anything with the cup holders.
I don't know. Whatever. You got one of those cup holders where you can mount your phone in there and do your Monday morning drive. So they ruined your Monday morning drive. So hopefully it's salvageable. Conja says it's his birthday, Shane. I didn't know that.
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday to you. Conja's an awesome dude. If y'all don't know him, he does peer-to-peer reviews. Part of Destination Devy family. Really, really good people. So happy birthday to you, my friend.
If it's his birthday. I believe you, Conja, but, we had made a couple birthday jokes earlier, so hopefully.
And I mean, not for nothing, we did have the fake proposals that set off a run of fake proposals we were told about. So, the precedent's been set here.
Jason? I don't know, but he gave Shane's car repair fund, so appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the super chat, Shane. Shane appreciates you there as well.
Truly.
Let's see. He had a quick one from Chris Switzer. Hit a sticker for $1.99. Pick one, Shane. Caleb Williams, Emeka Egbuka, Jaden Daniels, Rome Odunze, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. So I'm assuming this is a 3 for 3.
I'm in love with Daniels.
Although he lists Daniels twice, so
maybe it's his cousin Daniels.
Let's just wash Daniels because he lists them both. So clarify if you see this, Chris. But otherwise, it's basically Caleb Williams and Egbuka or Drake May and Rome Odunze. So I take this as you're getting the better asset versus you're getting the better receiver. But yeah, I would take Caleb in that case, almost simply just for I don't even know how the Odunze versus Egbuka versus wide receiver 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to shake out. So give me just the Caleb Williams until I know otherwise, right?
Right. Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Okay, let's see. We got a big one from Big Diaz Energy. I think this is a Shiza 5-parter. So I'm going to go slowly on this one.
Okay, I'm going to take notes.
Do it justice for his $20 super chat. All right. 12 teams, Superflex start 10, point per first down, 0.1 passing, 0.1. Okay, 0.1 for first down, passing first downs. Anyway, clarify because I'm a little confused on that. But
0.1 for completed pass.
0.1 per pass. Okay. And then 0.5 for running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends for the first down, I'm assuming?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. PPR, running backs are half PPR, wide receivers 1, tight ends 1.75. So a tiered PPR with 0.75 premium. First year of Empire League, winner cannot trade for any players upon conclusion of the rookie draft. Okay, Shane, you got that.
So they can't.
If you win, you cannot trade after the rookie draft. So you must get everything done between now and the rookie draft, I assume.
Okay. Can't trade. All right.
You can abdicate the Empire pot, but must declare before the start of the rookie draft in the championship. Traded away my 24 first for Sam Howell when I lost Watson, and then Mac Jones lost his job. So that's a rough string of trades there. He then says traded for Flacco for a 3rd. That's been good. Just traded Flacco and a 4th for Mullins because of the matchup. He owns the 102 and 104. So we traded away Flacco.
Okay.
And a 4th for Mullins because of the matchup. Okay, so he's scared of that Flacco against the Jets.
Okay.
Clearly.
Revenge narrative.
And
don't forget, there's the revenge there too. But yeah.
He owns 2 of the top 4 picks. He was just offered Fields and his own second back for Fields and his 25 first. This is for the championship. So
he was offered Fields for Fields.
No, he was just offered Fields, comma, my own second back for Fields and my 25 first. So he's getting his own second back and Fields, but he's giving up his own 25 first. Yes. Quarterbacks: Lamar, Deshaun, Howell, Mullins. Any quarterback on a 2 deep. Shout out to Big Diaz for picking that up. But basically, he's starting Nick Mullins this week if he does not trade for Justin Fields. And that's what else he has. Zamir White, Mostert, Swift, Zeke. And then wide receivers. Okay. DK, Flowers, Nico, Evans, Keenan, Hopkins, Lockett, and Njoku, McBride. So a lot to say to get us to the story of 25 first for Justin Fields.
Oh, real quick. There's an edit. It's Fields in a second for Watson and a 25 first.
Okay. Well, that changes the trade a little bit, but it's a 25 first. He's getting his own second back there, which is going to be a late second. So you're paying a first to second swap tax for Justin Fields to start him this week over Nick Mullins. So it literally is a 1-week trade, because if this is pure dynasty asset value, I don't need to make this trade, right? I'm not giving Watson and a first for Justin Fields if the season is over. But Justin Fields has the Falcons at home.
Right.
And Nick Mullins, good matchup at home against Green Bay. Great matchup.
Yeah.
My worry with Nick Mullins, he may not even start/survive the game.
Yeah,
so
there is that.
I do not want to start him in a championship game if I have a viable upgrade.
No. And it's an Empire League. I want that. I get that first title, and then we work on the next title. So, yeah, I'm making the deal. Give me Fields here. And Fields, even if you're looking at just the sunk cost of it, Fields is going to be useful. He's going to start somewhere next year. I don't care if he's a good quarterback. He's still going to have these runs where he gives you, 3 straight games of 25 points or better. And you're going to be crushing those weeks. It might not look pretty, but I really don't care.
And he says you can abdicate the Empire pot. I'm assuming that means you can declare that you're going for the Empire pot. And then it's Empire with rules that stop me from trading for players. Yeah. Okay. So basically what he's saying is if he wins the championship, he can't trade for players after that championship.
Right. So they're trying to even the field.
So does that devalue the 25 first to you, given that you are trying to spend it to win now? And if you win, they're less valuable to you because you can't move them, right?
Yeah, I mean but here's the problem. So I can't go in at any point next year to capitalize on my winning season.
Correct. Now, if you lose, you could. If you lost starting Nick Mullins, you didn't win the league. So you can still trade your 25 picks.
Right. Because you didn't win. So it's almost like winning. You almost have to find a way to win here in a more sustainable short term. I think Justin Fields is good enough that he could help you win next year too. I'll still do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's that simple.
Normally I'd say no, but given what you just said, the fact that it slightly devalues the picks just a little bit, I'd be fine doing it. I'm curious if anyone else in the chat kind of caught that, how they would strategize this. Because basically, if he trades away the 25 first now and wins, you're basically trading it away at the best time because you can't trade it in the next year anyway, is the way that I read it. So you literally can't do anything else after you use that first and win this year. So maybe it makes it a little less valuable and it's worth doing. So great question. I love that kind of 5-parter that gets us to actually think.
Yeah, that's one of those where that's actually very, very, very deep. I really do like that question. Usually I get a 5-parter. I'm like, I don't like this, but no, that was good stuff.
Shane, Irish Jedi 423. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Removing Shane's hatred for running backs for a minute. Which running backs are still viewed as valuable that you're trying to get off of your roster this offseason? He has Javonte and cannot stand him.
I mean, so I think we've kind of talked about it. we've talked about this on the Monday morning drive. I think it was last week, where I think I've talked myself into Bijan's a buy for me, right? So then if he's a buy for me, he's not someone I'm trying to move off my roster. Gibbs is another player I'll hold on my roster. I think a chain right now. Javonte Williams is a dude I'm trying to move if I'm getting an actual good price back for him. Am I getting a mid 24 first, mid to 108? I'll do it. No, 25 first, I'll do it. But if I'm just getting random seconds, I'll just hold them.
Okay, so I look at this differently. I don't buy running backs as investments. I buy running backs as they fit my build. So yeah, I want Bijan. You know why I'll buy Bijan? Because I'm willing to anchor a team with Bijan. So if I don't have a running back, that would be the team I'm looking, okay, I'm willing to buy Bijan. Now, do I want to buy Bijan with the 101, the 102? No. But if I can buy him for the 105, 106, if someone really wants a quarterback, they want Drake May or Jaden Daniels, I'd be willing to give them 105, 106 potentially for Bijan. But not because I'm investing in Bijan Robinson. It's because I have a team where I go, my best running back's like Derrick Henry. You know, I need an anchor. I'm willing to invest in an anchor. Here's the thing. Once you get the anchor, though, you bet that Bijan is the anchor. You don't go, oh, well, if he fails, I'm going to try to resell him. You kind of got to look at it as like you're building your roster around a running back, which is why if all I can get is a second and a third for Javonte Williams and he's my fourth running back, okay, take the liquidity. You know what I mean? It isn't even about because I don't feel like a lot of running backs actually have investment value. They are more of how do they fit your build? Because go try to trade most running back. Go try to trade Javonte Williams, a mid 24 first. You kidding me? No chance. Zero chance you're getting a mid 24 first. So if you can get anything close to that and you have running backs already on your roster, what are you waiting for? Just take the picks. You don't need him. The point is you don't need him to win. You know, you can find a like value type player during the season for cheaper. So that's a good question, though.
Master Nader 7, super chat for Scott's indoor basketball court fund. Between this and his million smackers, that background should get upgraded. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it should.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's one of those things I just keep back there because it's fun.
Big Diaz Energy liked the answer so much he gave us another $2. Appreciate you, dude. Truly.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Shane may be upgrading here. We might get like some tinted windows, and you could buy a club. What else
I had a club. I had a club.
You had a club.
There was a club on it. Yeah. I really want to see it.
You had a club and they still
stole it, dude.
Why even bother, man?
Look, I did something wrong to somebody somewhere and it came back on me repeatedly. And I'm sorry.
Real quick, funny story. I wanted to share this real quick. Nothing is funnier than because after a certain year, like 2015 and later, it's actually earlier, but you can't steal newer cars by like the old way, right? You can't hotwire a car. You can't stick something in the ignition, but you'd be shocked how many people will return. They'll recover their like 2021, Honda Civic, and it'll have damage to the steering column. Like someone tried to stick a screwdriver in there. It's like, dude, clearly whoever tried to steal it, AKA probably you, like it's completely staged. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's not even how you would start. So it's just a funny story. You see these brand new cars and it's like, yeah, someone was trying to stick something in the ignition. It wouldn't work that way. So.
All right. Alex Dior Savage, 12 teams, start 11, 1 PPR, tight end premium 0.5, 2 tight ends. Okay. Superflex. Should he trade Jahmyr Gibbs for Travis, Kelsey? Okay. He put Travis, then a comma in between Kelsey stuff.
Neither of those. Nobody that is Travis and Kelsey with an SEY. No.
Yeah, you don't want to do this, dude. I get it. Travis Kelsey just really isn't a difference maker this year. This isn't Travis Kelsey from last year.
Here's the thing: is Travis Kelsey even guaranteed to outscore like Tucker Kraft?
No, he's not.
So why am I buying Travis Kelsey in this league? I'm sorry, no reason. Not anywhere near. I'll buy Travis Kelsey for the finals if it's like, here, I'll give him to you for a second. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or something that, not for Jahmyr Gibbs. That's probably one of your best assets, even though he's a running back. Yeah, pass.
Hard pass, yeah.
And sorry I don't even remember what you called his last name, but it was nowhere close what it probably is.
Savage from Dior. It's a great cologne. Mark Mather. one of two. It's a 12-team start 10 super flex, 1.5 point tight end premium. He's a long-time listener, first-time caller, loved the content. He's got Burrow, Rashawn, Singletary, Pierce, Herbert, DK, Debo, Mari Cooper, Laporta, Pitts, DP.
Draft picks.
Okay. He's got the 1-2, 1-3, 2-1, 2-2. He traded away a lot of aging value for liquid assets. Any recommendations on how to approach the offseason? Quarterbacks aren't valued very highly, which is why he traded Hal and Geno away for draft capital. Well, first of all, you did that right. Even if they are valued highly, you got out on them when they performed, and they've both turned into pumpkins. Hal more quickly than Geno, so you did good there. So any moves, looking at his team, super flex, he only listed Burrow at quarterback. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say you need a quarterback. You've got the 102. I'm going to shop that around. Does anybody want to panic on any of the elite quarterbacks? Let me give them the 102, and see, it's 1.5 tight end premium. Can I convince someone that Pitts is still worth anything in that format with a 102 and see what quarterback I can get?
Man.
Well,
you'd give up the 102. What quarterbacks would you give up the 102
for
right now? No, I think he lists that with running backs. That's probably
that is Khalil Herbert.
I wonder why you listed any of those running backs, but anyway,
I mean, obviously,
what quarterback would you give up the 102 for? That's Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison.
Let's see. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Stroud maybe, Lamar Jackson.
And he's
Lamar
already got
Jackson
Burrow.
worked his way back up.
I'm not doing it for Lamar. I don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
The point is, he's already got Burrow, and there's probably only 4 or 5 QBs that are even in the mix with the 102. So I'm probably going a little cheaper. What quarterback can I get? What quarterback can I get for Pitts in the 201, 202? Even if it's a little gross, I'm okay drafting one. But I kind of like the idea of moving the 103 for a better receiver if I know I can't get Marvin Harrison. I'm not sweating quarterback, especially if I have to draft the rookies with these picks. Not that I don't want them, but I'm not penciling in, oh, man, those are quarterback studs at 102 and 103. I think if we learned anything, you can roster or construct your way out of the quarterback position a little bit if you already have a good one. You don't need 2 elites.
If Caleb goes off the board at 101, well, then 102, there's literally nothing stopping you from taking Marvin.
Well, go to the 101 and see what they're willing to move. Can you get it? Can you sniff out the 101 to figure out who they're going to take?
Right.
Because that might change my strategy a little bit. But just throw this out there. I think this is probably one where Mark may want to set up a did it call with you, Shane, to go through literally what to do with the picks. Like anybody that has more in-depth roster construction questions or like how to form their roster, literally you can sign up for Did It and you can do a free call. You get a free call with Did It. So if you want to download it, it's DIDIT on Apple if you have an iPhone, but download that. You can do a free call with us and literally take as long as you want. But you can go through the nuances of here's my format, here's what my roster looks like. Because I bet you, and I'm not picking on Mark, but I bet you if I saw his whole roster, 26-man rosters, right? Or whatever his roster size is, let's say it's 26, 28. I bet you there's some leakage on that roster. There's probably not enough backup QBs. There's probably some dead weight, an extra tight end or two, some receivers. Like you can solve some problems without actually having to look at what picks to trade. So think of that if you're interested. Hit either one of us up. You can do one of those calls. But it's a good question, Mark.
All right. I wanted to get this one up on here. 270 videos. Long time. Appreciate him. He's starting a CDC league this year. If you want to join some CDC leagues, look him up on Sleeper at Brendan Borman on Sleeper. BrendanBorman on Sleeper. I spelled that in a really weird cadence.
Hey, you spelled it right. So if someone's just listening to this and they don't see it, they can at least type that in and get to him. I'll just say, can we push? And I'll give a shout out to the 4D chess guys, Mike and Adam. They're still my boys. They've been pushing Sleeper, C2C, trying to get C2C on Sleeper, but also Best Ball.
There's not Best Ball.
Get some Best Ball. Can we get some Best Ball C2C? Nothing worse than Tuesday night trying to figure out, okay, what MAC players do I want to put in my lineup?
Huh.
So that's the hardest thing for me with C2C is the lineups. I love lineups. I love the idea of having to set lineups, but C2C is a struggle for me. So if we can get best ball, I'd be down to start promoting it a little bit more, but it's just too much for me at this moment.
Yeah, CDC on sleeper. Anything on sleeper would be fun. Really, to be honest with you,
I'm surprised. Sleeper, best ball, C2C, people would eat it up.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that they don't have best ball on that. That just seems like a given to me. Like
there are C2C best balls, but it's uncommon to find it. That they're trying to push it to sleeper, but also have some standard C2C best ball leagues for that reason, just because the roster build is most of the fun. So,
all right, Evan Mouchart, 12 teams, start 9, 1 quarterback, no tight end premium. He's looking to compete next season. How should he fill the running back room? Any other suggestions? He's got Kyler, Kirk, Cairns, Olave, London, Downs, and Njoku likely. He's got the 101, 103, no 24, and 225 firsts. So he's got a luxury of picks with the 101 and the 103 and 225 firsts.
Well, it's a 12-team start 9, 1 QB. So we are drafting Marvin Harrison at 101. I want to talk to you a little about tight ends before we end this show. So we'll have to hit the last couple comments. But, he's got Olave. He's got Jefferson. Kyler is passable in a 1 QB. I'd like to find an upgrade, but passable. Drake London. I mean, how does he fill the running back room? It's a start 9. You probably need some running backs, but you also have the 103 and 225 first. Feels like you should be able to. This is a team, you know what? This is a team you go trade for an anchor running back. You don't have a running back? Go see if you can buy Jahmyr Gibbs. Go see if you can buy Bijan with the 103. Go see if you can buy A-Chain for a 25 first. If you can't, fine. The idea is if you wanted to trade for one, this will be the roster I'd trade for one. But here's the thing. You pay a first for A-Chain and he burns you. The process wasn't wrong. You put him on a team that fits the type of player you're trading for. If you're wrong, he gets injured, you get upset, he has a Breece Hall type season where he sucks for 12 weeks or whatever. It happens. But the idea is this is one where you go buy an anchor. I have no problem paying a 103 for a running back here, Shane. 103 for Breece Hall. I would do it because it fits the team. It's not like, well, I only have Bijan. I need another stud running back. No, you don't need another stud to win. But here he doesn't have any. So I assume
and it does
buy one.
And if it's the format, right? It's start 9. Like I can. This is one of those leagues where it's start 9, so I can afford to pay for things that I wouldn't normally pay for, because I don't have as many starting spots. I don't need to think, well, if I give up this first round pick, I could have gotten 2 wide receivers to stick. I don't want 2 wide receivers to stick in my lineup. I want an anchor running back or obviously a stud wide receiver. But you already got JJ, Olave. And I don't think, if that's an option, sure. But no, I would definitely not be opposed to adding a running back in this situation. See, we don't hate running backs. We just, certain situations, we think they fit better. And again, Gibbs, if anyone wants to trade for Gibbs and Bijan, who I think will have a depressed market this year, unless Arthur Smith does get fired, I'm more than willing to pay for those two. Gibbs, I'll pay full price for. I won't even lie. Bijan, I'll buy if there's a depressed market on him.
Yep. I'm going to throw this one up there too. You trust Joe Flacco this week, Shane. If you've had him, he might have gotten you to the finals if you were lucky enough to start him the last couple weeks, because he's been awesome the last 2 weeks when you needed him. I had him in a league where I started him both weeks because I didn't have anybody else and I'm in the finals. What about you? Joe Flacco, points per game. If you just take the 4 starts that he's had, Shane, where does he rank this year? 6 point per passing touchdowns. Any clue?
Probably top 4.
QB3, right below Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? Right? Joe
exactly Flacco. How you drew it up. Exactly how you drew it up.
So do you trust him against the Jets this week? I'm looking Fantasy Pros ECR rankings, QB 19. So they do not
trust him more than that. I trust him more than that.
Here's the guys they have above him. Gardner Minshew. You trust him?
No, not really.
You trust Nick Mullins?
No.
How about Derek Carr on the road?
No, but you know what? Derek Carr, and this shocked me. I actually put this in our Discord. He's actually played pretty well the last few weeks, and I don't think anyone's noticed because our hatred for us has overcome him. But no, I still don't trust Derek Carr on the road.
Do you trust? Ooh, that's a tough one. Do you trust Kyler Murray at Philly?
Yes. The Eagles defense is god awful.
Do you trust Jared Goff at Dallas?
I don't know.
All those guys
I'll
are
say
ahead
this.
of him, so that
I would take Jared Goff over him. Yes.
So where's the line? Probably Jordan Love at Minnesota. Minnesota's been sneaky tough this year at times. That's probably the decisions. Jordan Love. Yeah. I'd be fine starting Flacco over Nick Mullins or Gardner Minshew. Yes. I'm fine there. But then some of the other guys, you get to Kyler, Jordan Love, Jared Goff. Tua at Baltimore is tricky.
Tua at Baltimore is the one that scares me, even though I just said I'm not worried about Tyreek with no Jalen Waddle. And that
Tyreek's different. Tyreek could get 90% of the offense, which means he's good, but Tua's bad.
But Tua feels like there's a 190-yard day incoming, like 3 interceptions. Maybe he'll get you a touchdown to Tyreek, and most of those passing yards are to Tyreek. When you get to the real quarterbacks, the ones that aren't just fill-ins, those are the guys that I'm going to trust Flacco more than. But if you wanted to sit Tua for him, 100% understand after seeing what they just did to Brock Purdy.
Yep.
They stole his soul. Just took it.
All right, how many more we got?
All right, we got a couple more. Caleb, 14 team, 1 quarterback, 0-5, it was half PPR, start 9, no tight end premium, 101. There was another part of this question. There's absolutely no chance I'm finding that.
I'll get it for you. Hold on. Caleb.
Yeah, 908.
Here we go. Boom. Should be in there.
All right. And it looks like I missed another half. I missed half while we're at it of MJ Hammer at 906. Caleb's second part.
I put it in there.
Yep. Caleb's second part says he has the 101, 102, 103, 107 on a team with Waddle, Fields, Christian Watson, Pitts, literal cans. Do I make all the picks or trade for proven assets? Examples, trades. Thanks, guys. I think me and Scott have been pretty clear. We generally want to trade picks for proven assets. It's just what proven assets am I getting? We went through the list of the players that we would take with the 101. It's Jamar Chase. That way we trade the 101 for. And it's a 1 quarterback. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, maybe CeeDee Lamb. Maybe.
I'll just tell you, I'm 14 team, start 9, 1 QB. It is half PPR, but he said there's no tight end premium. So basically, you're eliminating quarterbacks. You're eliminating tight ends. It is half PPR, but this class itself basically eliminates most running backs inside the top 5-6 picks. So you hold the chips. So am I in a hurry to move those picks? No. Which means I'm going to everybody that has the specific list of players that for the 101, it's okay. If you wanted to trade the pick for CeeDee Lamb and, you wanted to do that, I'm not going to be like, that's awful. I don't think you have to, but I think it's 2 or 3 players, right?
No, literally the list is Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and maybe CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. The 102, the list expands by maybe 4 or 5 more players. Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson. Like the list is slim.
Yeah. The list
Malik Neighbors is going to stop. He's going to start the top 12 receiver. Whether you like it or not, he's going to start that high. Now, you may not say he should be that high, but from an asset perspective, you're sitting on a really good asset. 103, I think, is where you can shop it and basically take what you feel comfortable with. So knowing what we know about his league right now, Shane, would you trade the 103 for Chris Olave?
It's so unfair because I'm a Chris Olave fanatic.
I'm just saying that's a perfect guy that you would rank in your top 12.
Yes, I would.
I think somebody may take the 103. 103 or Brandon Ayuk.
Because I don't think the name is there for him, I'm going to take the 103.
Michael Pittman?
Same. I'm still going to go with the pick because I feel like it's more valuable and I can do more things with it.
Puka Nacua?
Puka. Give me all the Puka. I love Puka.
Would you do 102 or Puka?
102.
You trade it for
I don't know.
Olave.
Yeah, I honestly I don't know. That's tough
Okay.
right there.
So I think he gets the answer though, right? You're going to specific teams with specific players and proposing them the pick. Other than that, you hold the top 3 picks. So don't take that lightly. The control of you having the top 3 picks makes the 3rd pick, I think, even more valuable. So just be selective, Caleb. That would be my final answer.
All right.
I did put MJ's in there too whenever you're ready.
Yeah, we got those after this. So Sonic Fan TV. 10-team Superflex, 2 tight ends, half PPR, 0.25 for tight end premium, start 11, 30-man rosters. He's got the 101 through 105, 525 firsts, 226 firsts. His QBs are Kyler, Fields, and Dobbs. Tight ends, Fergie, Komet, Chig, Mayer, Kraft. Wide receivers, the Bridge, Nico, Devonta, Flowers, Watson. Running backs, Spears, and whatever. Brees, last place. He finished in last place. I mean, I obviously want to upgrade. I love Kyler, right? But can I upgrade him or Fields? Can I do that for 1? 2, I don't like your wide receivers particularly. And I know it's a half-point PPR, but that doesn't ding wide receivers as much as you think it does. All those picks, I got to come out with a known asset with some of those picks, right? Like we were just talking about the Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chase, CD Lambs, AJ Browns, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like one of those dudes has to join my team with one of those picks. Running backs, whatever. You know, can I buy Ezekiel Elliott for a 3rd? Can I buy Devin Singletary for a 3rd? Can I load up on all those dudes? Can I get Raheem Mostert in a month when he's worth a 3rd?
Yeah, I think the theme here, we've seen this numerous times tonight, is a lot of our listeners somehow have stacked all of these picks, like 101, 102, 103, 106. You know, he's got 5 of the top 5 picks. Like literally you control the entire draft from the first 101 to 105.
Right.
Now, it's a 10-team super flex, meaning I don't value the QBs as much, but I'm actually fine if I can get a 3rd QB. I'm fine with the Fields, Kyler, and the 3rd QB. So I'd be willing to trade one of those picks. Probably not the 101 because that's a pick I'm taking Marvin Harrison. But 102 through 105, if you can get another QB that you think is at least better than Fields and Kyler, which you can go down the line and figure out what 8, 9 those are potentially. If you can get one of those, I'd be willing to move the 102, 103. Don't care about it in this format that much as I would in a 12-team. And then all the other picks, I'm taking Marv at 101. And then basically the 102, I'm okay shopping if you can get a quarterback with that pick. Everything else is on the table. You know, like your roster construction is pretty good. The last thing I'm worried about is running backs. I mean, you want to buy an anchor running back, go for it. You know, like this is another one of those teams, Shane, where if you need,
you're going to have enough assets to do that.
Buy one, but you don't need tons of them. If you get Breece Hall, you just fill in Breece Hall and a bunch of guys, you know?
Right. And at some point, like, I don't want you to keep banging your head into I'm trying to buy an elite wide receiver. No one will give me one. So I just overpaid for T. Higgins. You know, like, I don't want you to do that. You know, I want you to go, all right, well, if I can't get these wide receivers, what running backs can I get? And again, it's a select few that we believe in like that, but it's okay to get and pivot over there before you just randomly overpay for a tier 2 wide receiver and you're paying like tier 1 prices.
Yep.
All right, so we got
I'm throwing this one up there real quick. Now this one's got to go here because this is gross. Shane, who does he start this week?
Easton Stick's got rushing ability.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you who I'm not starting I'm not starting a Steelers quarterback. So that's out. I'm not starting a Steelers quarterback. Not on the road.
I can't start O'Connell.
I can't start Bailey Zappi at Buffalo. I'm sorry. I can't do that. Easton Stick, I would assume Easton Stick is probably out at Denver.
Likely. Yeah.
I'd say it's between Heineke, Minshew. Man, I can't even start. I can't even consider Aiden O'Connell or Trevor Siemian.
No, it's Minshew.
Minshew or Heineke. Yeah.
Minshew.
Yeah.
Minshew. What if he has to start 2 of them?
Well, I don't know. Is he meaning Superflex and QB or just one?
I
Please,
think.
hopefully it's
Okay,
just.
so I'm going to say if you need to just pick one of those, it's Minshew. If you have to pick two, I know Easton Stick's matchup's not great, but just because of the rushing ability that he could take off and rush for a touchdown, I'd have to add him to the list.
You wouldn't go Heineke against the Bears at home? Or no, Heineke's on the road. You wouldn't go Heineke? Okay. And you agree, no Steeler?
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not falling for Mason Rudolph. Like that's not happening. No. Okay. Not just because George Pickens took one crosser for 1,000 yards. I'm not going to start trusting Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. Can we trade for Joe Flacco?
Let's trade for Joe Flacco. Let's trade every other quarterback except Minshew for Joe Flacco.
You should just add Joe Flacco to this team. It's the perfect quarterback room you can tell your kids you want a championship with.
Hey, good for you for grinding the waiver wires, dude.
Yeah. At least you have options, right? You have what? 8 starters in the final week to pick from. So good luck. All right. Hit MJ's.
MJ hammers a lot of numbers. 12 teams, start 9, 1 QB, 0 tight end premium. It's a half-point PPR. He's in the finals. He's looking ahead. What is the most he should give up for the 101 in the offseason? Oh, so he has the 102, the 104, a 25 second, Lamar, Richardson, Bijan, Saquon, Monty, Chandler, Madison. Oh my. AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Waddle, T, Amari, JSN, JMO, McBride, Pitts, Jig. Thank you. Good luck to all in the finals. I would give up the 102 and the 104. It's a start 9, 1 QB.
Can we throw in JMO and Kyle Pitts in the 102 to get the 101? Oh, that should really sexy up that offer.
Oh man, just that whole, just send everyone on that second. You can have Madison, Pitts, JMO,
Chig.
Yeah, all of them. But honestly, I'm willing, based on this team, to start 9. I'm willing to go 102 and 104 if I had to.
Yeah,
I like Neighbors, but Marvin Harrison seems next level, right?
So what if could you really get greedy? Could you send 104 in either T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, or JSN and get the 101? Would you do that?
I would definitely try that. I mean, you go through all those permutations before you do the 102 and the 104, right? When I say that's,
if I can hold the 102 and get the 101, I'm willing to give up one of those other three potentially for the potential shot to get Marv.
So the 104 and Waddle for the 102.
I'd say you can have JSN, T, or Waddle and the 104, and you pick which one you want. I could see somebody wanting all 3 of them, so I'd be willing to do that because the 104 in this format is not nearly as valuable as it sounds on paper. So basically, you're upgrading one of those guys to Marv.
If you walk out of this with Marv and Malik Neighbors, you've done things well.
I wanted to hit this one because I just want to do a cheap plug for the quarterback show that I did the other night. Sam Howell, Shane. You were in on let's trade some decent quarterbacks with job security for Sam Howell because of the short-term production. And I was never in on Sam Howell, but I don't think it's even fair to say that even his detractors saw this coming. I mean, talk about like a nosedive into the shallow end for the last 6 weeks to the point where, I mean, they're facing picking in the top 3. I don't see how he's even given a sniff to start next year. Are you already assuming he's a backup?
Yeah. I mean, look, they gave my dude the chance to run with it. He just got benched 2 weeks in a row at the end of the season.
And the guy who's coming in, you didn't know Jacoby Brissett has 7 drives this year and 5 touchdowns?
Yeah. I mean, Jacoby Brissett comes in and that looks like one of the best offenses in the league. Like just flat out. Terry McLaurin's a top 5 wide receiver. As soon as Jacoby Brissett comes in, like it's just a different team. And unfortunately, Sam Howell, he regressed. You know, he cleaned up the sacks and he cleaned up the turnovers in the middle part of the season. But now
that was the Sam Howell that was getting points.
Yeah. But unfortunately, after he cleaned that up, he's regressed back into that. And you're just not going to keep a job that way. And I think the one person that had some love for him was Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera's already given up on him, and Ron Rivera's probably out of a job anyway. So, Washington needs to bite the bullet here and go quarterback.
I mean, here's who he is. Unfortunately, this is bad and it's good, depending on how you roster construct. He's Gardner Minshew. He's Drew Lock. You know what I mean? He's a guy that's going to be a backup. He's good to have. I have zero Sam Howell. I want to get some Sam Howell because I think in a short-term window, you go, hey, if I said Sam Howell starting for 3 games in a row because of an injury, I'd be going, hell yeah, that's a top 24 quarterback weekly. Top 15 maybe based on the matchup. But he's not a starter. So if you can get him for non-starter prices, which you know that window will happen sometime between February and May, when the discussion is Washington is getting a new quarterback, especially if they're picking in the top 3. I mean, basically, they got to end up with the strength of schedule tiebreaker over, I believe, the Cardinals and the Patriots are the teams they're fighting for that top 2 or 3 spot. Like, they got to outduel those 2 teams, depending on how it shakes out. But it feels like you can get some Sam Howell. I want some Sam Howell. Throw in some Sam Howell. Because he's going to start again. Not he's our starter, but here's a start. Here's 2 starts. Here's 4 starts. So I want Sam Howell. He's not a starter. So what do you do with him? You collect him, roster construct, getting a bunch of those types of quarterbacks. But I'm not paying. What would you pay for him? Like I even advocated if I'm buying backup QBs, I'm not even paying thirds. I can get other backups cheaper. So he's got to be a throw-in. He's got to throw him into a deal when I trade away 1 for 1 and give me him for free. Like that's how I want to get him.
I'm not gonna give any capital because I've already seen, especially this year, I could just grab guys off the waiver. I mean, and stick them in there, and they'll give me productive weeks. Not all of them, obviously, but the chances are not infinitely worse.
Yep. Well, we didn't get to this at the beginning, but I wanted to talk to you real briefly about tight ends because I think we're done with starred comments. Are we right?
Good? We are finished for the evening. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, appreciate everyone with the super chats. Not as good a flow with Clay, but we managed to get through it. So thank you all who put those in. I wanted to end it with this, Shane. TJ Hawkinson out for the year, torn ACL and MCL. I haven't seen our boy Jeff's response on what this means from his recovery time, but we've seen these multi-ligament ACL injuries or knee injuries that take place at the very end of the year. There's going to be questions leading up all the way into the offseason on Hawkinson. Like you're not going to know anything on him by May, June, most likely. Like it's going to be too soon. So like, what do you do? And let me just preface this. If your league where tight end does not matter already, blanket question, Shane, do you consider TJ Hawkinson a positional advantage in a league where tight end does not matter right now?
No.
So he's outside of that. If I'm drafting him in a startup, even if it's at tight end 8, it's not a positional advantage.
Tight end 8, I would take him there. I mean, if he's fallen that far, I'll take him, and I'll hold for the half a season. I'm not going to get any.
Does that depend on what else is on the board, though?
100%, because I'm probably
it's a 1.5 start 1. The 108 is on the board. Would you take TJ Hawkinson or the 108?
The pick.
Okay, so like there's a line to where you'd say, okay, I'll take Hawkinson, but it probably depends on what else is on the board and how many tight ends are off the board, right?
Right. Like if you just give me a board where there's nothing but tight ends, all right, well, yeah, I'm going to grab him at tight end 7, tight end 6 if he falls a little bit.
So I tell you can get David Njoku or Evan Ingram and a second or TJ Hawkinson in a startup where tight ends don't really matter. What side are you taking?
Njoku.
Those two feel like guys I can roll with year after year and just live with the results. And the end results they're not TJ Hawkinson, but they're not going to absolutely kill me.
No, and we talked about Njoku for a few weeks now. My dude's had some really nice spike weeks, and that's the type of tight end I'll throw in there. And there'll be weeks where he wins it for me, or maybe doesn't win it, but really helps me towards that end. And other weeks where he doesn't do much, but I don't really notice.
Well, Ferg's another one that you can kind of throw in there. I would rather take Ingram and Njoku, but I think he's in that mix where, listen, Ryan, if tight end matters in your league, maybe you take Hawkinson. If it's a 2 PPR or something like that, you can consider this. But if it's not, I mean, we're slamming the first and Ferguson, right?
Yeah. I mean,
and you offer this to somebody, they're laughing at you right now. There's no chance. I don't even know in most leagues you can get a first for Hawkinson, honestly.
Without a premium, you definitely should not be able to right now for a guy that's not going to play for at least probably half a season next year.
So half PPR, 1 PPR for tight ends. You taking Kyron Williams or TJ Hawkinson? This is tough because now Shane's got to pick the running back with no capital going into the offseason.
But it's a running back that I've said repeatedly, I think has built himself cushion, and that's his room next year. Like, regardless of them adding someone to that room. Huh.
I'll say this. I've said it 10 times on the show. If you're taking Kyren Williams in that trade, you're roster constructing around Kyren Williams being a guy that you can anchor your running back room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're not just doing this because you're getting value, because I'm not trading for Kyren Williams for an investment.
No.
Like, that's not why you would trade for him, right? No. But if you had a spot for him and you go, hey, I could use an anchor running back here, and TJ Hawkins is kind of just chilling out here, and this is the best offer I can get, I have no problem giving him up. Ryan said 1.5 tight end premium. That's not enough. I'm taking Jake Ferguson in the first still pretty easily.
Yeah.
So
I could just do so much with that, right? That's the thing. And I know Jake Ferguson cooled down over the last few weeks, but Jake Ferguson was being talked about like a top 4 or 5 tight end 3 weeks ago.
So we'll end the show on this. I'm going to go through. We're just going to go one for one. Now, we're going to say tight end matters here, Shane. And when I say tight end matters, that's twofold. Let's say it's 2 PPR, meaning it matters from a WAR perspective, right? Like scoring, that you can use top 15 or better tight ends. Second thing is, in those leagues, the value perception is that tight end matters, which means other people think tight end matters.
Right.
So you actually hold an asset in the form of a tight end. If it's just a PPR, sure, you might have Sam Laporta, but the rest of the league is like, great, you have him. I'm not giving you Garrett Wilson for him because he's a tight end, and tight ends don't matter. So 2 PPR, you just tell me yes or no, TJ Hawkinson versus this tight end, okay? Sam Laporta or TJ Hawkinson?
Well, we're taking Laporta anyway before this.
No, I'm just there's some that are going to be obvious, but we'll just go down the line.
Yeah,
Sam Laporta, TJ Hawkinson, you're going Laporta easy. You are going Brock Bowers or TJ Hawkinson?
Brock Bowers.
Okay, regardless of where he lands or where he gets drafted, if he's a first round pick,
you're still taking
him, right?
Yeah.
Trey McBride or TJ Hawkinson?
People are going to hate me for this one. Trey McBride.
Now
I know his
target share,
dude. His target share is going to drop to like 25% next year when they get some wide receivers on that team, but still.
Slam dunk. Mark Andrews, who now is healthier than TJ Hawkinson or TJ Hawkinson.
Hey, who's got the newer injury? TJ Hawkinson, give me Mark Andrews.
Yep, I'm going Andrews pretty easily. Dalton Kincaid or TJ Hawkinson?
Kincaid.
Yep. These next two for me are very similar. Kyle Pitts or TJ Hawkinson?
TJ Hawkinson.
How can you say Kincaid but not Pitts?
Because I don't believe Pitts is ever going to perform in any function.
I think they're the same bet. Pitts is actually younger than Kincaid.
I get it, but he's been in the league longer and it counts. I get it.
I'm taking Kincaid and Pitts over Hawkinson simply because I think there's more that I can do with them over the next 8 months than an injured TJ Hawkinson that we don't know about, a multi-ligament knee injury. So we are Laporta, McBride, Andrews, Kincaid, Pitts. Let's see. David Njoku or TJ Hawkinson. Is that the line?
Yeah, if I'm just doing it straight up, I'm not getting anything added to it. I'll just hold on the Hawk there.
I assume same with Evan Ingram. Same thing?
Yes, definitely. You're going to need to add.
So Hawkinson
is in that boat.
Is effectively your tight end 5 or 6?
That's about right. Right.
I mean, you're not taking Travis Kelce over him, I assume. No chance.
No, because he's 38.
George Kittle, no. Cole Kmet, no. So yeah, tight end 6.
Yeah,
right ahead of like Njoku, Ingram, that range.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the exercise. And I think the biggest thing to take away is, do tight ends matter in your league? If the league thinks they matter, then I'm more interested in Hawkinson, the asset, but not necessarily Hawkinson, the tight end. If tight ends don't really matter, I think we need to get over the fact that, yeah, Hawkinson led the league in target share for tight ends this year. But there's no guarantee. It's not just his injury, Shane. I mean, we don't know their quarterback next year. We don't know. We don't know a lot about the situation. So just to say, he'll be back and just what he was, I don't know. This is not a guy people loved before this. Remember, he was always one of those, I'm not sure how great he is. Like, he's good, but Anyway.
So Masternator says, can we get an extra live next week if you're close to winning this ship?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to put Scott through that, man.
Well, the good news is I looked. I'm not going to have any players playing. I believe I'm only going to have one player in the 4:00 window. And then the Sunday night game, I think it's Packers Vikings, isn't it? The Sunday night game.
I don't even know.
I'm almost positive it's the Packers Vikings game on Sunday night, and I don't have any players on my roster going in that game. So like I'm going to be done. Yeah, Packers Vikings is the Sunday night game, and there's no Monday night game. So I'm done. I'm in the worst position because I'm done at 7:30 Eastern, and I'm probably going to have to sweat out. Let's assume that I'm even winning at that point. I got to sweat out, the team that's got Justin Jefferson. It's 28 behind me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And with no Hawk, no Jordan Addison, I mean, Justin Jefferson could go for 30.
Easy.
So like I'm going to be sweating in some capacity, whether it's now the good news is there's not a ton of players in the Vikings Packers game that are guaranteed to be in lineups. Remember, this is FFPC. It's start 8. So like there might be a random Aaron Jones, a random Jefferson, but it's not like we're not going up against San Francisco and, Miami where there's like 7 or 8 guys guaranteed to be in lineups. So yeah, sure. Maybe we'll do something if I'm close. I'll throw it up there. If I'm that close, I'll just go live. Screw it, right? Why not?
I'll be pulling for you either way, man. You want to go live? If you don't want to go live, you want to record yourself watching it, and if it's a happy ending, you fucking let it loose out on the America. Cool, whichever you want, man. Whatever makes you, whichever works best for you.
Will do. I think that's a plan. So I'll promise everybody we will do something if that even gets close. I'll even simulcast it on DD. Let's throw it out there. Let it go. So,
yep.
Final word, Shane. This was a fun Mannequin Chill. Just literally getting on here and just rallying with you.
No, man. Just appreciate everyone watching. Appreciate all the super chats, all the good thoughts. Hopefully, everyone had a nice Christmas, Hanukkah, everything, whatever you celebrate. Hopefully, it was good. And don't forget, we're not stopping. It's the off season. This is the real fun time. The really fun time. So we'll see you next week. Hopefully, Scott will be sipping champagne on the show live.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the time to do. We don't have a overlay for it, but if you want to talk off-season roster construction, join the Patreon, join the Discord, patreon.com/allgas or destinationdevy.com. Join the Trades in 5 tier. You get extra content in there, and then also sign up for a Did It review. Literally download Did It and message one of us, and we'll go through and do a full breakdown for your team, kind of with some of the deeper strategy questions that you might have on your individual picks and roster construction and whatnot. So appreciate everybody. Good luck championship week. We will be back next week. Thank you.